everyone, and welcome to Blue River Botanicals today. My name is Ruth, and today we are going to make some beautiful lavender and goat's milk soap. This is going to be an all-natural soap. We're going to use goat's milk, and to color it naturally, we are going to use alkanet root infused olive oil. So the olive oil has been infused with a beautiful alkanet root, and we're going to scent it with a little bit of essential oil from brambleberry. We're going to use 2 essential oils. Here, I grabbed the wrong 2 bottles. Okay. Lavender and rosemary. Predominantly lavender with a little bit of rosemary to anchor it and to spice it up. So these are going to be our scents today. This soap is going to turn a beautiful purple color. Let me show you why. So here is the alkanet root. Naturally, it has a reddish color. When I infuse it in the oil, like I did here, it's going to be red. But the fun thing is, once we combine the infused oil with the lye, it's going to turn a lightish, lavendery, purpley color. So it's going to be beautiful. We're going to top it with some dried lavender buds, and this is going to be a great soap for the whole family. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is mix our lye. So here I have my goat's milk with a little distilled water, according to my recipe, the sodium hydroxide, and then I have a little pinch of Tussa Silk that's gonna make this soap really luxurious and smooth. So I'm just gonna cut that into the lye. It's gonna melt in with the goat's milk. Now before I start pouring the lye, I'm gonna get on all my safety gear. So, and usually this is frozen. Usually I'd be doing this outside even with my dust mask on. But I'm gonna use my glasses. I'm gonna put on my dust mask. So once I start doing this, I'm not gonna talk because it'll be weird through my dust mask. So here it is. And I'm also gonna put on my gloves. And like I said, you want to do this in a well-ventilated area. You want to watch a lot of videos about how to do this because this lye is toxic in a number of different ways, both to your skin and to your lungs when it's giving off fumes. So you want to be sure that you are really safe when you're using this. Like I said, normally I do this outside for ventilation, but because of the frozen, it's not going to get too hot. All right, so I'm going to slowly pour the lye into the mixture. I'm going to stir as I go, get it all incorporated. So I'll show you a little bit of that process, and then we'll come back and blend it in with our butters and oils. So our oils and lye are ready, and now we are going to add our essential oil. So this is lavender and rosemary essential oil, just a little bit of rosemary to just brighten up that lavender scent. And I've got kaolin clay in there, white kaolin clay. It's great for the skin, but also it really helps anchor the essential oil into the soap so it doesn't evaporate out. And it's going to add a creamy white color to our purple oils. So I'm ready to add that into our oils. You can see the beautiful alkanet root colored soap there. Okay, so I'm going to add this in. Now the alkanet will make the oils kind of like a red or a dark pink, but once the chemistry happens with that saponification process, it is going to be a gorgeous purple. So let's get all that in. Okay, I'm going to use my stick blender to get that all incorporated. Let's get the air bubbles out. We don't want any air bubbles in our soap. That's called burping. Okay, so now the essential oils, the kaolin clay are incorporated. Just gonna get all the air out of that so I can add the lye. Okay, so I'm gonna add the lye through this strainer because when you're using goat's milk, just want to make sure that there's nothing that gets in there that you don't want in there. So, can you see that? Here's that beautiful goat's milk lye. So this is half goat's milk and half distilled water to create this lye. Frozen goat's milk. I added the lye, the sodium hydroxide, really slowly, well ventilated, wearing my mask. You want to watch lots of videos on lye safety. Do not try this at home without very careful research. Lye is very toxic if not handled appropriately in a number of different ways. You'll notice I'm also wearing my gloves, and I'm going to put on my eye protection as well. Plenty of people have lost their sight using lye inappropriately. Okay. Let's get that lye added in. Nice and slow. Get all of that in. Go. Okay. So when I mixed that lye with the oils, they were approximately the same temperature. The lye was, I think, 83 Fahrenheit, and the oils were 85. I have made the mistake in the past of having the lye be hotter than the oils. That was a big mistake. So we are not going to make that mistake today. Can you smell that essential oil? It smells good. All right, let's get that burp. We don't want any air bubbles in our beautiful soap. So I'm going to keep stick blending this until it comes to what is called a light trace. Ooh, that was interesting. Oh, there it goes. You can see it changing color. You can see it changing into that purple from the red. That is cool science. Okay, let's get the air bubbles out. And we'll get it. All right, so it is emulsifying, it's getting thicker. I'm gonna keep stick blending it until it comes to what's called a light trace, which means that when I go like this, I'm gonna be able to see the trail or the trace of the batter. It's not quite there yet, but you can definitely see the color change. trace, so I hope you can see that when I swirl it around, and it's kind of sitting there on the top. You can kind of see just very light lines when I swirl it around, and that's how we know we're at a light trace. So it's ready to pour. So to do that, first we're done with the stick blender now. And it smells heavenly in here, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm, sure does.
Lavender with the rosemary. I've never done that before, but I'm excited about what it's kind of smelling like right now. Alright, so I'm going to get this over here, and then we're going to pour it into our mold. I like to put that spatula in there when I'm just pouring a single color, so that just breaks it a little bit so it doesn't splash or get air bubbles. Now we are going to get every bit out because we do not want to waste soap. So this is a stainless steel pot. This is my soaping pot. Stainless steel and plastic, or certain types of plastic, are good for soap making. They can handle the unsaponified soap, which just means it hasn't gone through the process of turning into soap. It is still caustic. It is still hazardous to skin, and a number of other substances, including aluminum. So you do not want to use an aluminum pot to do anything related to soap with. So you want to make sure you do your research before you start doing any kind of soap making. So I've read lots of books, watched lots of videos, and even so I was really nervous my first few times working with lye, and I still make sure that I'm really careful. Alright, so now we're ready to just finish it off. It's been about 10 minutes. Get that to a firmer texture so we can shape the top a little bit. So it almost looks blue, so it'll be fun to see what it does once it goes through the saponification process when we unmold it. To finish it up, let's just add a little bit of dried lavender on the top. Now I'm going to get it wrapped in a towel so it can go through the saponification process, and we'll talk again tomorrow when we unmold it. All right, so it's the next day, and we're going to get it out of its mold, and we're going to cut it. It looks gorgeous. is going to make beautiful bars of soap. The color I think is fantastic. All right. Moment of truth. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so you can see what color it's going to look like when it cures, which is this purple. And so you can see where it's kind of started curing, and then this inside here is where it hasn't cured. So in about 2 weeks, it will all be this color. All right, so we'll let that sit for a little while, and then once the edges firm up a little bit, we'll come back and shore up the edges and stamp it.